My name is Kathleen Tunney, and I have a very simple question. I want to know what you will do to monitor Elon Musk, especially in regard to Social Security. I survive on Social Security, and if he slashes Social Security Administration's funds, I may not be able to survive. How will you, Hamadeh, address my concerns?
Great, this is the other green card. Come on up. You can go ahead and line up in the alleyway there.
Representative Hamadeh, I have questions concerning the current effort to pursue fraud, waste, and abuse and mismanagement within the federal government. I have 32 years of experience investigating fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement of federal programs and activities as an employee of the U.S. Government Accountability Office, an agency within the legislative branch of the government I'm currently serving. During my years of service, I was personally responsible for recommendations to the Congress or to agency heads that were subsequently implemented and saved U.S. taxpayers several billion dollars. So I know what fraud, waste, and abuse and mismanagement look like. It's obvious to me that the current effort by Elon Musk and the Doge team is not an effort to identify and eliminate fraud, waste, abuse, or mismanagement. Instead, Doge has redefined the meaning of those terms to apply to anything they do not like, care about, or fully understand. The actions taken by Doge are a textbook example of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, harming people and damaging critical government functions important to all Americans. In fact, the poster child for fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement is Donald Trump and his collective gang of stooges. My question for you, Representative Hamadeh, is what are you going to do about it? Are you going to apply your critical thinking skills and conduct proper oversight of the executive branch of government, including the mismanagement carried out by Doge, as the Constitution tasks the Congress with doing? Are you going to protect the Constitution and the interests of the American people? Or are you going to do what you're told, play follow the leader, and be afraid to stand up to the bully in the White House? I will be watching your actions, not your words, to answer these questions.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya, and thanks for coming out tonight and supporting our right to.
If I may interrupt you real quick, the gentleman that just spoke, we would love to have your comment form in the basket, if you don't mind us sending that to the representative. Oh, you left it. I apologize.
Turn that
Sorry.
microphone around so we can look at the person speaking.
No. We want to talk to
We're going to stick with what we got. As long as you can hear the folks, we're good.
The representative here, and what I'd like to say to you tonight, Representative Hamadeh, is that I'm a grandmother of 7 adult children that are ages 18 to 25. They're all really struggling with our economy, with safety and security. They can't afford groceries, they can't afford housing, they can't fix their car or even buy a car, they can't afford health care. The opportunities for learning a trade or going to college are very distant and dim. It's a huge process, it costs a lot of money, and there's a lot of competition. Most of them are working several part-time temporary jobs, and they still can't make ends meet. As a result, a lot of them are afraid to have kids, and they've resorted to living in strange things like trailers and sheds at their parents' or friends' homes. That seems okay if this was a third world country, but we're a rich nation.
Right.
One of these children, 22 years old, Lorenzo, he was trying to get a job in the Forest Service, which just laid off thousands of workers. And one of these adult children, Camila, she works as a part-time help her taking special needs students to class, and then after school, she takes care of kids while the parents work. Well, that program is now on the chopping block at the gutted Department of Education. So we owe our children more, and gutting our services to make billionaires richer is a crime against humanity. As my representative, how are you going to help?
Hi, my name is Chris. My father was an aerospace engineer, and I grew up as really involved in a big booster of our space program. I was really excited to see that we were going to send manned mission back to the moon, but unfortunately, NASA picked Elon Musk's Starship to be the vehicle for that. He said that by 2024 it was capable of going to send astronauts to Mars and back. It's 2025, and it's always burned up, even with zero payload from low Earth orbit. So obviously it's not working. He stopped releasing any data from his trials, but independent aerospace engineers say it just gets oven hot in there and it literally melts the controls when they try to re-enter. So what I would like you to do is introduce legislation to I should say, NASA has picked another contractor to get to the moon, but they're still funding Musk. What I want you to do, Representative Hamadeh, is in waste, fraud, and abuse, introduce legislation to claw back our $3 billion. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Roger Benanati. March Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month. Bring this here. How about now? Yes. March is Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month, bringing attention to life-threatening and treatable diseases like hemophilia and von Willebrand's disease. We fought really hard and won a lot of battles over the last few decades. 35 years ago, we won access to safe medication. 60 years ago, we won access to care that increased our life expectancies and decreased our disabilities, thanks to small federal grants for healthcare providers. 30 years ago, we won access to affordable health insurance after a useless risk pools policy excluded coverage of our pre-existing conditions, a program that Vice President Vance has said will be removed. All of these accomplishments are under attack right now, and every single one of them keeps us alive. How will you protect us?
Hello, Representative Hamadeh. I'm your constituent. I'm Rebecca from Sun City West. I'm extremely worried about our country's future as a democratic republic. All the reckless slashing and firings in every federal agency is very upsetting, as it will negatively impact millions of Americans who depend on these critically essential services on a daily basis. And one of my biggest concerns is all of the detainments and deportations we're seeing every day of people who have legal status in our country with no criminal records and are being harassed and imprisoned and deported without any due process. One person, a graduate student, is a lawful permanent resident who has been detained without charges in retaliation for exercising his First Amendment right to protest. Trump wants to scare me and my fellow Americans from speaking out against his efforts to turn our country into an autocratic dictatorship. It is only a matter of time before American citizens will face a similar fate as we exercise our right to gather and protest. To this group I say, protest while we still can. Be loud and brave. It is. troubling for my country that Republicans have surrendered their powers to Trump and Musk. We need brave, fearless leaders to fight against tyranny. Are you with us?
Representative Hamadeh, thank you for being here today. My name is Anna Rose Lilly, and I am the chair of LD 28 Legislative District Democrats. I sent a message to you on the website, as we were instructed to do, for you to join a meeting on April 15th. We're having Justin Heap, one of your colleagues, to speak at our legislative district meeting, and I submitted the request very respectfully and asked if you would join us. Of course, I've heard absolutely nothing back. I'm also particularly disturbed that you found it necessary to travel to Guantanamo Bay. Since deportations have stopped, that was quite tone deaf. I believe the cost of your trip should be borne by you and not the taxpayers. CD-8 needs a representative, not a financial drain. How do you justify that fraud, waste, and abuse?
My name is Ricky. My name is Ricky.
You're taller than most.
I, as a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, I'm shocked and appalled by the choices this administration is taking to tear down the institutions that I fought for and was sworn to protect and defend. That included all enemies, foreign and domestic. I've already put Trump in this category since he is categorically and by definition a threat to our democracy. If you fail to take action, you are on the side of this grievous disgrace being perpetuated. Please make a choice to resist this effort and redeem yourself by being on the right and American side of history.
Thank you to everyone for being here tonight. This is awesome. Representative Hamadeh, it's too bad that you're not here. It really is, because you might learn something. So I have something I want to say and then a story I want to tell. This is a repetition of what others have said, but I want to say it anyway. I am concerned that neither the House nor the Senate is choosing to perform any oversight hearings on any topic or action being undertaken by the current administration or Elon Musk. And your job is to make sure that actions taken conform with our Constitution and all laws and statutes. Do your job. One at a time. Do your job. And then there's a story I want to tell. I taught math for 30 years. Wow. And it was just amazing to be a math teacher for 30 years. I loved working with students. I knew why I was there. Parents send their kids to school to learn, be treated with kindness, courtesy, and respect, and come out better than when they went there. Not every kid comes with great gifts. Some come with gifts that you don't understand, and that you just have to work with them. The Department of Education is being slashed. I had a student, I taught him in his year 16. He had severe autism. He came to school every day with brown loafers, white socks, khaki pants, and a white dress shirt. Had to walk on the right-hand side of any hallway into a classroom. Had a minder with him the entire time. He comes in one day, as a 16-year-old, has a graduate level differential equations book and comes up to me and says, Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter, Mr. Porter, I read this whole book this weekend. It's fascinating. And I'm going, I didn't study that, but I believed it. What's the end of the story? This kid had special services all the way through and is now a rocket scientist at Los Alamos. But we need services to make them have a chance to realize them. When you cut the Department of Education, you are destroying the life of that child and the dreams of his parents. Do your job. Don't let that happen.
Dear teachers. Good evening. My name is Brian Baca. I'm a proud father, American, and Arizonan. I have a teenage son who's currently studying and loves the subjects of civics and government, and I'm struggling as a father to explain to him the unconstitutional actions of his president. The congressman was a member of the U.S. Army Reserve and the Arizona State Bar, and is a sitting member of Congress. In all three roles, the congressman swore an oath to support and defend our Constitution. As we meet, President Trump is in flagrant violation of the first three articles of the Constitution. He's violating Article 1 by usurping Congress's authority over spending. He's violating Article 2 by declaring President Biden's preemptive pardons of the January 6th committee void. He's violating Article 3 by defying the orders of federal judges. The congressman should find and reread those oaths to remind himself of his duty to the rule of law. While he's at it, he should find a spine and use his power as a member of a co-equal branch of government to hold Trump accountable for desecrating our great Constitution. Congressman, do your job.
Hello, my name is Jacob. I am a local pediatrician, and I'm concerned about our children. 30% of my patients rely on Medicaid to come and see me just to get their basic services. I want to know why you, Representative Hamadeh, are voting to take away the health care of the children most at risk in Arizona. And I want to know when budget reconciliation happens, will you vote to cut the health care of our children?
Hi, my name is Sharon Rosinski. I am a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. I was going to talk about Social Security, but everybody's talked, but several people have talked about it, so I'm going to go to women's rights. I believe in free choice. It is not anybody's business why a woman decides to have an abortion. We don't know if it's medical, we don't know, she just doesn't want to have a baby. But it's none of our business. And the thought of a young woman being in a hospital, not knowing if someone will help her, kills me. So, Representative Hamadeh, represent all of your constituents, not just the men. It is not a patriarchy. We are just as productive as you. When we needed money, I went to work. But I didn't tell my husband it was his job to earn a living. I went out and got a job. So do your goddamn job!
My name is Tom Cabot. I'm a resident of Sun City. That means I'm a senior citizen. And have been for 20 or 30 years. As a senior citizen, I collect Social Security, depend on Medicare for my medical expenses. But I do have a government pension from, thank God, the state of Arizona, not the federal government, with the way you guys are handling things. I say Representative Hamadeh, I guess that's some kind of honorific because I don't see you representing the people of Arizona, the people of this district, the people who need you to work for them, not for Donald Trump, not for Elon Musk, not for any of those people. I have a son who is a disabled veteran. He's worked for the VA for several years, has got sterling evaluations from all of his superiors, and he's facing the very strong possibility that he will be unemployed because Who needs somebody to schedule patients in? Which is what he does. He creates programs for the VA. He does these things, and he loves working there. He loves working for the veterans. He loves working for our country. I'm a veteran myself. I used veterans benefits. Bought my first house that way. And I am really disappointed that no one in the Republican Party in any kind of leadership position seems willing to work for me, for my son, for all the people here who need you working for us, not for Elon Musk, not for every other billionaire, us.